So the turn-based combat is more or less the same as it was in Vikings. Each character class has 3 ability trees from which you can pick skills every time they level up, and their types of weapons and armor they can use. What brings some spice into the combat is that there are also a bunch of weapon attack skills that are entirely dependent on the weapon being used. It's not just a gladius or an Egyptian sword can be different, but that even 2 weapons of the same type can have different attack skills attached to them. It's a neat way to make weapons more varied and provide significantly more tactical options, while also giving you more reasons to choose one outside of looking at its damage. This applies particularly in the first part of the game, but it does highlight the issues of how inventory works. First of all, you've got all the tools to look at and compare to items, but the experience is still a frustrating mess. The inventory doesn't give you much useful information at a glance, and what it does give you can be misleading. See these arrows? These indicate weapons that deal more or less damage than one currently equipped. That's a really neat feature, but the information itself is deceptive because each weapon can have a bazillion different stats that aren't considered. One bow might deal 1 less damage than another, but also have higher accuracy and crit chance. Meanwhile, the better one might have none of those and be objectively worse in every other way, despite the arrow pointing up. So you end up with maybe dozens of nearly identical weapons that you have to painstakingly compare to find the best option. Remember my earlier rant about losing all your gear after missions that force you into disguises or alternative equipment sets? Yeah, now you can see why that's such a pain in the ass. Fortunately, this becomes less of a problem over time as you begin to collect unique items, which are much easier to identify and remember. Still, during the first half of the game, your inventory will be swamped with generic items that have identical names and no way to mark or favorite them.